Going live. Is it slow? I don't know. There it is. There it is. Hello. So my hair's all didn't put the whatchamacallit stuff in it this morning, the gel stuff to make it sit down. So this is uh this next part of my video, reintroducing myself. And it's all about owning who you are and asking yourself, what are you going to do to make a change? And this is partly about weight loss and partly about me saying I'm not going to wait around for employers anymore to hire me. I'm not. There's too many skills that I got. There's too many things that I love to do, and to for me to think that I can't help other people is bull. That's a bunch of baloney. I lost 80 pounds through a life coach. This woman is very, very precious to me. Now I'm doing a labor of love for her right now, creating a book for her sons. And, you know, uh, it is just a labor of love for me to do this a few hours, like an hour a day, sometimes even less. Sometimes it's 2 hours every other day. So, I've been working since, I don't know, I think 1988. I was a teenager then. I wasn't even out of high school in 1988. My name is Sandra Gregston. I have an MBA from Argosy University in Orange County. I got that in 2011. And all the people wanted me to have all this experience right out of getting right out. I mean, experience like accounting, right? Accounting. They wanted me to have all this experience. You're not born an accountant. Someone needs to give you a chance. That's the way the world goes. And my question to myself is, am I willing to give myself a chance? Because this life coach became my friend, and I I wasn't able to do it without her. I'm just telling you like it is. I was not able to lose the 80 pounds without her help. She was knocking on my door, calling me every day. That's why AA and NA is so successful, because they got a sponsor program, and it's like a friend calling you all the time. And you call them before you want to drink. You call them before you want to eat. If you're an overeater, you call them. I want to eat. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I'm like, are you willing to do what you need to do? Are you willing to do this? I am scared as F. I'm telling you. And people are like, you got an MBA and you're scared to start your own business? You're damn right. Yes, I am. I'm scared because all those freaking little things in there. What if no one likes you? What if they don't think you're qualified enough? What if they think this? Who cares? I am not here to please everybody. I'm here to do my passion, talk about what I love, talk about what I know, talk about what I learned. I got a whole chock full of information written down, and just because I have this information doesn't mean I'm done learning. I There's still stuff for me to learn that I can take in, so I'm not perfect, but there are skills that I do have. And I was 1988, one big year for me. That's the year I dislocated my hip. I was in 8th grade, and I think I was 13 that year. So somewhere around there, I started babysitting for a woman that had a 6-month-old kid. And I can't remember when Daniel was born, but right around 1988, 1989, somewhere around there, I started babysitting for this woman. And I babysat her kid. Here I was, 13, 14 years old, babysitting a 6-month-old, because the mama had to do other stuff. And her mom was living with her. So I was babysitting him and changing his diapers and everything, 13, 14 years old. And I did that for about 3, 4 years. Daniel got to be around 3 years old, and I noticed I just wasn't babysitting him as much. Maybe because I was 17 and I had other interests at that time. I don't know. But by the time I was 18, I was working. I mean, I graduated high school in 1993, and I was gone. That was it. I was started working at a 1099. I didn't even know I was getting into a 1099. Didn't even know what a 1099 was. And I figured, and they said, "Oh, you'll pay it every week." Lie. They ended up paying me 6 weeks after I started. I said, this is a joke. Because they treated me like an employee. They wanted to say like I was an employee, but I wasn't. I was 1099. And it was commission only. It was $1 per app. It was sales. My first job was a sales job. And they said it's $1 per app. And basically the first job was not babysitting. I'm not talking about babysitting. I'm talking about after high school. You sign people up for a JCPenney credit card. So you stand there, you set up the table with free gifts, watches, real cheap stuff, real cheap free gifts just to lure people in, right? And you stand there and you got to dress real nice. You got to dress, if you're a guy, suit and tie. If you're a woman, a dress, a real nice, fancy dress. You stand, you don't sit. They told us to stand. And I noticed that didn't work. That was not a good tactic. Standing did not work. Me sitting at the table looking busy actually worked better. And people wanted to know what I was doing there, filling out paperwork. So I did what I was told. I stood and I went to people and said, would you like to fill out JCPenney credit card? My job was to make sure that they filled out the application completely. Why? Because I didn't get my dollar in commission if they didn't fill out that form completely. So they need to sign it. They need to put their address in. They need to put their employer in. They need to put their employer phone number in. They need to put how much money they make every month. They had to put down their phone number because if anybody needed to call them, like the credit card company needed to call them, or if I needed to call them to make sure, hey, you didn't fill out this form completely. If they didn't have a phone number, I didn't have a way to call them, and I lost my dollar. Because they didn't put a phone number in. They needed a sign. If they needed a co-signer, they needed a co-sign. If they had SSI coming in or SSDI, they needed to state that. SSI, they needed to state how much. So many people didn't need a sign. They didn't put their employer down. They didn't put how much money they made. And in a week's time, I averaged 80 applications a week. I was made assistant manager because I got so many people to sign up. The only one ahead of me that got more than 80 was a woman that worked in sales and her whole life. And I think she was about 50 years old. I was 18 at the time. And I didn't ask for a little thing that said assistant manager or anything like that. I never got anything that said assistant manager, but that's what my title was, even though I was 1099. And I was like, this is bull. I said 18 years old, $4.25 an hour, minimum wage, California. I can make more money working for the man than $80 a week. This is and $1 an app. I mean, there wasn't no base pay plus 10%, base pay plus 20%. No. So I stayed there 6 weeks, and then I became a security guard for Galleria Tyler Mall, and did that for, I think I was a fill-in for a woman that was pregnant for about 3 months. She was in the third trimester, and I was just a fill-in for her for that period of time. And, I have way a lot more experience than that. I have so much experience, but how am I going to make people want to hire me? I've done sheet metal. I did the little combing out the little sheet metal, the little coils. They're very thin. Sheet metal is very thin. And now it's like, I'm just looking for a receptionist job. Are you kidding me? I mean, I'm more than, hi, how are you? Yes, let me connect your call. That's good. I can do that. But there's so much more that are people missing about me. And I'm going to wait for Mr. Man to hire me? Are you kidding me? I got an interview coming up March 1st in San Juan Capistrano. And they may think, oh, you live too far. Paris, California, too far. It's about 42, 43 miles. It's about an hour and 5 minutes, hour and 10 minutes. You have to go through the Ortega Highway to get there. But I got to go all the way down to Lake Elsinore to get there. And that's, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 miles down there. But there's a lot of people that live in Riverside or Menifee or whatever, and they commute to LA. So why can't I commute to San Juan Capistrano? I got an SUV. But if I'm going to sit here and rest on my laurels for Mr. Man to hire me, I've been applying to jobs like crazy. Indeed don't work. ZipRecruiter don't work. I just deleted my career builder profile. So I'm done. It's like, do you want coaching? Now I'm going out there. If you have already been down that road, like I try to lose weight, I don't know what to do, I'm not sure. Uh, I've done this, I've done that. Then hire me. Hire me. You don't like my services? After 2 or 3 services, I'll refund your money. You get everything back. You won't have to worry about it. You just done. You're like, man, I didn't get no results. After 3 4 weeks, I didn't get no results. Then you just say, fine, I'm done, Sandra. Bye. I don't need your services. It was great. I did what you said. I didn't get any results. I don't feel any better, you know, because you're going to have to put the work in. The question is, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want this thing? I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I shouldn't be getting $16,000 a year on unemployment. That's what I got last year. First time I ever got that much in unemployment because of $300 extra a week. Excuse me, $16,000 in unemployment? I should not be getting 16,000. I shouldn't be getting any unemployment. I want to work. And I've been to Lowe's, I've been to Home Depot, I've been to Costco. I had an interview with Sprouts Farmers Markets, and they listed all these positions. It was it was something like a Zoom interview in a specific forum, and I can't remember right now what the forum was, but this one particular position was a sales position. And I didn't know it was a sales position. I didn't know it was full time. And he said, this position, whatever it was called, I don't even know what the position was called. It wasn't produce clerk because that was part time. And I remember looking at produce clerk and I said, oh, that's part time. I need to work full. I need to work 40 hours a week, guys. I need to make 50, 60 grand a year. My goal this year for 2022 is to make 60 grand a year. Now, how the hell am I going to do that? I don't know, man. I don't know. Single woman, 47 years old. I'm young. I'm not 70. I'm not 65. You know, I got nothing holding me back. There's nothing holding me back at all. There's no kids here holding me back or anything like that. So I'm asking myself, what are you going to do? If I'm going to wait for Mr. Man to hire me, I think I got another thing coming because I'm hungry. And I'm asking you, if you need to lose weight, if you're tired of the inflammation, you're tired of the pain in your ankles, you're tired of the pain in your hips. And believe me, when I was obese, I'm 5'2". When I was 207, I felt like doo-doo. Let me tell you, I needed that coach. And she was calling me every day. Every day she would call me. Are you doing this? Are you doing that? I told you to do this. I told you to do that. I told you to do this. Every single day. And that's why AA and NA works and all them 12-step groups, because you got a sponsor. And I remember signing up for what was it? Codependence Anonymous. And I asked for, I never got anybody that said, yeah, I'll be your sponsor. I never got any. I think codependents don't want to be sponsors because they're codependents. You know, who wants to be a sponsor when you're codependent? So I was just like, this group ain't for me. I shifted my focus last summer, and now I'm shifting my focus again. If I'm going to work for myself, I'm going to do something that I'm very, very passionate about, something that I absolutely love. I crave this stuff. I crave it. So, like I said, you don't like my services, you don't see no results 6 weeks, 4 weeks later, you're like, you know what you told me doesn't work. I did everything you said and it doesn't work. I'm still in pain. I still feel like boo-boo. I still feel tired. I have no energy left. I'm doing everything you say. It's been 4 to 6 weeks. Fine. I'll give you all the money back and you can find somebody else. You could pay, you could pay someone $100 an hour. You could pay somebody $150 an hour. There are some life coaches that charge $100 an hour. There's some that charge $75 an hour. So it's, what do you want? What do you want? What are you willing to give up to lose the inflammation to feel better? I have a friend that has Asperger's syndrome. I think I have it too. I haven't proven it. There's several professionals that say, Sandra, you definitely do not have Asperger's syndrome. Okay. I still believe I have it. Go back to my old videos and you can look to see because I talk about it. And I have another YouTube channel and I can't log into it. And I don't know what my email address is to that other channel, but it goes into Asperger's syndrome on that other YouTube channel that I cannot access. But I have a friend. She's only 4'9". She has Asperger's syndrome and she has epilepsy. And I keep on telling her, why are you eating so many TV dinners? Why you need to exercise? Why are you just sitting around? She sleeps from like, I don't know, 12 hours a day. And that's fine if she wants to sleep out 12 hours a day. That's her choice. But you can't just sit all day. Our bodies are made to move. Our bodies are not made to sit. Motion is lotion. You want to get up and go and get some energy? Your batteries are in your feet. Let's go. Let's get out there and walk. Let's get out there and have a walk. And you don't have to walk fast. Just get out there and walk. Just 1 mile. You might say 1 mile is too much. Okay. Then count your steps. You don't have a counter. You don't have the money to get a step counter or anything like that. Then just count your steps and walk 300 steps one way and then walk 300 steps back. If you're not used to, a mile may be too much for some people if they're starting out. I don't know. We're all different. We all start at different places, but I got down to 127 and it's not easy. It's not easy to stay there. You need to have that accountability partner to be able to say, okay, yes, I think, yes, I need this. There's too many times that I have tried. I remember going from 207 to 180. 207 to 180. I hit 180, I go right back up. 207, 180. You know what I did? I said, forget it. It's too hard. Just forget it. And I just threw everything away and I stayed at 207 until that life coach came in, until my mama died. And then she came in and she started helping me. And I was like, oh, okay. Intermittent fasting. Okay. I didn't know that intermittent fasting was so good. And carbs, white carbs. I'm not, people think carbs are bad. Well, cucumber is made out of carbs, but cucumber is better than bread. And celery is made out of carbs. Celery is carbs, carbohydrates. Celery is a negative calorie food. Okay, well then eat celery and don't eat the pasta, So people make a bad rap of carbs. It's not the carbs. It's where your carbs come from. It's what kind of carbohydrates. That's what it is. And people always want pizza. Well, you know, look at what's in pizza. Cheese, highly inflammatory. The tomato sauce is part of food maps, and that can contribute to arthritis pain, especially if you're sensitive to those kinds of foods. So I mean, there's so much to learn, and I'm still learning as I go. I'm still learning. So if you want it bad enough and you're tired of the inflammation and the pain, then contact me. You could either contact me through LinkedIn, you can contact me through YouTube, and I'm going to have to find a way to probably get a business website because this is all new to me. I'm telling you, this is all new to me, and I'm scared as F. And I can't let the fear stop me. When I let the fear stop me, that's when I stop growing. And I can't just not grow because I'm afraid. I can't do that. I'm healing my knee right now. I'm looking into prolotherapy for my knee. And right before COVID, I gained a little bit of weight. And then during COVID, I gained more weight because I wasn't doing Zumba. The gym closed everywhere. The LA Fitness closed, and they don't need to stay open because they own the land. They don't need the memberships. They own the land. So, and then I hurt my knee really bad in August of 2020, and I was bedridden for about 2 or 3 weeks because I didn't want to walk around with crutches. I walked around with crutches for 3 months when I dislocated my hip when I was 18. And when I was 13, I walked around for 3 months. That's 12 weeks, guys. As a 13-year-old, oh man, that was horrible. But let me tell you, your mind is so pliable when you're a teenager. It's harder to get around on crutches as an adult in your 40s. It's a different game to walk around. So I just gained weight so quick in August and September and October of 2020 because I was bedridden and I was like, I'm not walking with these crutches. I couldn't put weight on my leg for about 3 weeks. And the doctor said, 6 to 8 weeks of crutches. I thought he said 3 weeks. He said, I went back to him in 3 weeks. And I said, didn't you say 3 weeks of crutches? He goes, no, I said 6 to 8. And I said, oh no. I said, I can't do that. I said, I can't do that. I said, I can't just sit around and do nothing. I said, I don't have the space in my granny flat to, you know, when you learn how to do crutches when you're 13 and you get fast, you need wide areas to use the crutches. Because if you don't have wide areas, you're going to go like this with the crutches and you're just going to be like walking real slow. When I was 13 in high school, I was booking it with those crutches, man. I was like, choom, choom, choom. My arms got so strong doing those crutches. Imagine if I had done that in 2020, in August 2020, how my back and my arms would have gotten so strong. So I'm hungry, guys. And I can't just keep on waiting for Mr. Man to hire me as an accountant to give me some experience in accounts payable or give me some experience in recruiting or give me some experience in accounts payable or accounts receivable or account manager. I worked for R&R Heating and Cooling, and they said they needed a lot of business help. And I said, define business help. They said, we're just hurting business. We need business help. And I said, well, I don't know what that means. You're being very ambiguous. And I said, okay. Do you need someone to do your invoices? You need someone to do your books? And they said, no, we have somebody doing that. And I go, okay, then what do you need? And he goes, we need someone to answer the phones. And I said, oh, okay. You need someone to answer the phone. So you need a receptionist. He goes, yeah, but we also need someone to make appointments. And I go, oh, you need someone to make appointments. So you need a salesperson. You not only need a receptionist, you need a salesperson. So I was there for 2 weeks. Didn't work out. They wanted more than what I was given. They also didn't give me lunch breaks and they didn't give me bathroom breaks. They expect me to take the cordless landline phone into the bathroom. That's what they expected. And I was like, don't you have voicemail? People usually have voicemail, or hire somebody else. When I go to the bathroom, they can answer the phone. That way, no phone calls missed. He was like, no, we don't have voicemail. People don't leave a voicemail. Okay. But let me tell you, I made about 100 phone calls a day. I was calling anywhere from 80 to 100 people a day. And some days I was told to leave at 3. Some days I worked 8 to 3. Some days I worked 8 to 4. Some days I worked 8 to 5. The longer I worked in the day, the more phone calls I made. 80 to 100 phone calls a day. Now, granted, a lot of the people didn't answer the phone. There were some people that said, leave a message. You think I left a message? Yes, I did. There are some people that don't leave messages. They just don't leave messages. There's some people, they just don't believe in them. They'd rather just call. And if there's a answering machine, they just hang up. And sometimes people think that's better because it leaves people wondering, why'd you call? You didn't leave a message. Why did you call? And it makes them call back. I left messages and, I was fine making phone calls. That was fine for me. I don't have a problem making phone calls to make an appointment for whoever to go out. It was an HVAC company, for whoever to go out to sell whatever. So, like I said, I've been looking for work for a long time. And ever since COVID, I can't seem to find work. But these places, Lowe's, Home Depot, Carl's Jr., all these places, Costco, They want young 18-year-old kids that play on their phone and they're like, oh God, yay. I'm gonna look at my phone. I'm 47 years old, guys. When I got out of high school in 1993, there was no cell phones. So I know how to live without a cell phone in my hand when I'm clocked in. I know how to put it in my purse, put my purse away and lock it up, right? Put it away in some office. And then when it's time for me to clock out to go on lunch, I check my phone. Guys, my boyfriend died when I was like, I think I was like 19 years old. He was 1 year younger than me. I think he was 1 year younger than me. He died as a senior in high school. I was at work at Starcrest Products. And I knew my boyfriend had a blood clot go through his leg. I knew that. He was in the hospital. But I didn't not go to work because my boyfriend was in the hospital. I didn't just, oh, my boyfriend's in the hospital. I don't know what he has a blood clot going through his leg. I knew it was bad. Didn't know it would kill him. But that blood clot went through his lungs. Died. 4 a.m. He died. The pastor of the church, called his daughter a little bit later. She cried for a time. I don't know how long she cried for. I think she found out at 5 a.m. or something. I had to leave for work at 5:20 in the morning. I had to clock in at 6. I had to park. I think by 5:30, 5:40, I had to park, find good parking, and then clock in by 6. And the job was only 6 miles away from my home. Do you think my best friend called me at work because my boyfriend died? No. My best friend did not know my employer's phone number, but that's what you do when you have a job and you're married or you have kids. You give your family your boss's number. You give your family the HR number. You give them the number to human resources. That way, your family or whoever can call human resources or call your boss and say, is there a Mr. Smith there? Okay, well, this is so and so, and we need to let Mr. Smith know that his wife died. Can you tell Mr. Smith that? That way, human resources, or if you have the number to the supervisor, they can go find that guy, that person, and say, excuse me, Mr. Smith, we need to pull you away from your work. We need to go into an office. There's been an emergency. That way, you don't have to worry about your freaking cell phone saying, "Oh, am I going to miss a phone call?" If it's a true emergency, you give your boss's number to your wife or to your husband or your significant other or to your kids. In the case of me, than my best friend, because I ain't married, no kids. So, you know, I I give it to my closest person that I trust. That way, if there's somebody else in my life, it's a true emergency, that person's gonna call my boss or human resources. That way, there's no issue of cell phone. That's how Gen X handled it back in the 1990s, guys. And I know millennials, they might, but Gen Z, they're clueless. Gen Z is clueless, guys. And I just can't wait for Mr. Man to hire me. I'm hungry. You know how much money I need to make a month? I, I need to be making at least $6,000-7,000 a week. That's it, guys. I need to be making $600 to $700 a week. I need to be making 4 to 5 grand a month gross. I'm not kidding you guys. I want to make $60,000 this year. How am I going to do it? I don't know. Maybe I need to work for Mr. Man and make 45 to $50,000 for him, for Mr. Man. And then maybe I need to make 10 grand doing life coaching and doing health coaching. 10 grand a year doing health coaching and $50,000 a year working for Mr. Man, working for someone else. There's too many skills that I have. There's too many jobs that I've had. There's too many. I've worked for UPS on the ramp with the planes. I did that. I drove the big K loaders back in oh God, I think that was 2004, something like that, 2003. I did that back 20 years ago. I worked in retail, so I was a cashier at Kmart. I worked in sheet metal. I worked in sales. I was a telemarketer. I did those jobs where you pass out the phone books, where you sit on the back of the truck and you run and you get the books and you put it back in the day when you had yellow pages. The Gen X is the only people that know. Millennials, I don't think Gen Z don't know. They don't know what the yellow pages are. Gen X is the last generation that knows what yellow pages are. Millennials might know. The older millennials, they might know what yellow pages are. But I used to run those books and just take a book and go up to the front door and put it there and get on the back of the truck. And sometimes we'd walk 3 homes, 4 homes, and then get back on the truck and, do it again. There's too many jobs that I've had. Too many. I was a peer support specialist working for a nonprofit. And after 6 months, I got burned out because the money wasn't going to the people for mental health services. The money was going to feed them. And that grant was written for mental health services. The money was written to tax the rich, Prop 62, 63. I can't remember, it was Prop 62, 63 in California. And the money was not going to where it needed to go. And I said to my boss, what are we doing here in this meeting? I said, what are we doing? I said, how do we know when we get our goal? Is our goal to reach every single homeless person on the street that has a mental illness? Or is it just the chronically homeless, the people that have been homeless over a year? Because we're just bringing in people, we're doing an intake, we're asking all these questions. What's your name? What's your date of birth? Are you couch surfing? Where'd you sleep last night? Do you know anyone that can help you? And then last question, do you have a mental illness, or do you think you have a mental illness? And if they looked like they had one, we had to mark it down on the paperwork. And then if they said, no, I don't have a mental illness, we say, sorry, we can't help you. We could stay here for one day, but our doors open at 7 a.m. Our doors closes at 7 p.m. You're willing to sit here, watch some TV and get an oatmeal for breakfast, but that's it. We can't really help you. But if they did, we'd refer them to the county behavioral health clinic, but they had to walk. Well, I'm sorry, I don't agree with that. It makes it hard. If you're going to advocate for people that have serious mental health, they need transportation. And our company was like, no, we don't do that. It's like, well, you want to help these people, you're going to find a way to get a bus driver or get somebody to drive them, or a trolley, or get them bus tickets to go there, and make it do something, because the opportunity cost of them getting an oatmeal at 7 a.m. and them walking to the clinic, and they'd have to leave this place at 7 a.m. to walk up an hour away. It's only like 2-3 miles, but walking takes a good while to get up there. They're not going to sacrifice their oatmeal at 7 a.m. to go at this clinic at 8 a.m. as a walk-in. No appointment needed, but you're going to get there. You're going to want to get there at 8 o'clock, because if you don't, and you get there at noon or 1 or 2 in the afternoon, you're not going to be seen. And these people, I have to tell them, you have to see a mental health professional. I'm not a MFT. I'm not a psychiatrist. You need to see a mental health professional. You need to go to the clinic, tell them what you need, and tell them about this place called The Place, and tell them you need housing, but you need to go through their program, not the nonprofit, not us. And I kept on asking, what are we doing here? Guess what happened? Because I kept on asking, because they weren't looking at metrics. They weren't looking at KPIs. And let me tell you, within 3 months of me asking that, they hired somebody there. I said, you need a psychiatrist here, or MFT, or somebody in social services. You need somebody, a linkage person. You need a link, because too many people are coming in, and they're just falling away. They don't keep on coming in. They're like, when am I going to see this doctor? When am I going to see this therapist? I don't know. I was like, this is ridiculous. So you want to know what I did? You want to know how I improved operations? I asked the question, what are we doing here? What's the KPIs? When do we know we met our goal? Because we're just spinning our wheels here if we're just feeding the homeless, and they're coming in our doors, they're sitting in our seats for a year, and then we lose them. A year. Homeless people, mentally ill, really serious homeless, mentally ill. Some of them are drug addicts, some of them weren't. They needed help, and we just lost so many because nobody asked the question that Sandra asked. What are we doing here? How do we know when we've met our goal? And within 3 months, they hired someone. It was a peer support specialist from the county. And she was already working for the county, but they brought her over to where we were. And she was there 3 days a week. And she said, "Here's my schedule. You see someone coming in, write their name down." And she gave me her schedule of when she was available and when she wasn't. And I would say, "I have somebody here that can see you at noon, or I have somebody here that can see you Thursday at 2. Is that work for you?" And they'd say, "Yes." And I'd say, "Okay, be here Thursday at 2. Don't miss that appointment. This is an appointment." Then I would give them a copy and say, "Here, don't forget, be here, don't forget." And if it was 8 a.m. Monday morning, I'd say, "Be here next Monday, 8 o'clock." And it was up to that part, not me, because it's peer support. It's not up to me to keep tabs on them and say, call them and say, "You coming for your appointment?" And it'd be up to them. And that got the ball rolling for these people to get into services for this nonprofit, because the money was from the state. The people of California voted on this Mental Health Services Act. They voted on it. And excuse me, but I am not one to say, "Okay, the California people voted, but let's just waste the money." That's not me. That's not who I am. Now, I don't really want to be a peer support specialist. That's not really what I want to do anymore. It's not really a big huge passion, because I'm anti big pharma, and I don't think I would be a really good fit. I really don't think I'd be a really good fit as a peer support specialist, because I have too many opinions on big pharma and all their studies, and they don't publish studies that show the bad side effects and the bad things that happen to people on all these different drugs. And there's adverse events, and all the psychiatrists say, "Oh, drugs have risk." Certain drugs have more risk. And I've seen people I've seen people that get worse on medication. It does not do them good. So I don't think I would be a good fit as a peer support specialist, but I was certified as a peer support specialist through RA International way back in 2011. It's a two-week course. It's like 40 hours a week. It was like full-time job. It was a piece of cake for me. It was real easy to get it. Other people thought it was hard. To me, it's a piece of cake. I kind of wish it was longer. I kind of wish it was an actual college course, but it wasn't that hard for me. I actually enjoyed it because it's all the psychology and sociology, which I eat up. So there it is, guys. I just don't think I could wait around for Mr. Man to hire me. I just don't think I can. I'm tired of waiting around. I go on LinkedIn and I apply to these jobs on LinkedIn and I hear nothing. It's crickets. It's crickets. It's like I can hear a plane. Do you hear it? I don't know. I don't know if you could I don't know if there's a little airport here in Paris. That's what it's like when I apply online. Because why? Because you gotta know someone. You gotta know someone. Okay? Well, my name is Sandra Gregston, and I'm a coach. And I'm willing to coach you. How bad do you want to lose the inflammation? You let me know how bad you want it, because I want to work really bad and I want to make 60 grand a year. And I'm hungry. And I've worked in sales before. And I'm available. I could start work at 7 a.m. I could start work at 8 a.m. I could work 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I could work weekends. Don't matter to me. Don't matter to me. You let me know how hungry you are for weight loss. And maybe, who knows? Maybe I can work in the health industry as a W-2 employee. Wouldn't that be interesting? I got to do something here. I got to do something. I just can't rest on my laurels and wait around for Mr. Man to hire me. I'm tired. I need to work now.